Hey there everybody, this is Sheila Aliens. Long time no see. This video is about a sighting that occurred on August 29th, 9 p.m. in Halfway, New Mexico. And for reference, Halfway, New Mexico is near Carlsbad, New Mexico, and approximately 70 miles away from Roswell, New Mexico. A few things I'm going to go over. So we have this local news station's report there in New Mexico. They say they have an answer to what the lights were that were seen in the sky and recorded by several different people. I also went into the MUFON database and found some additional footage that the news did not show. And then we have a callback, a comparison to footage of identical lights that behave the exact same way that I remember from 2011 that were recorded in Arizona by a fella named Jeff Willis. He recorded exactly identical lights that behaved the same way, and he even made it onto this show at the time that was called Fact or Faked, and they were not able to debunk his video. And in fact, when the film crew went out to try and debunk Jeff's video, they ended up recording their own UFO as well. Jeff Willis is a guy who lives in the Phoenix area, I believe. He's been recording strange things in the sky for well over a decade at least. And I always found him to be a credible guy. He's just recording things in the sky. So we're going to go over all of that. Let's get into it. Here's the local news report, and I'll probably have to pause and talk periodically for copyright reasons to make it fair use. So bear with me there.
What was responsible for these seemingly synchronized flashing lights in our New Mexico sky? A weather balloon, a satellite, or was it a UFO? The answer? None of the above. What do you think it is? Here's a video from the skies above Halfway, New Mexico around 9 Monday night.
So during this segment, the reporter is just talking about the footage and the lights that are appearing in the footage. And take note of how they go across and then they disappear and reappear, and very unlike any flare I've seen.
Having sent this video of lights just north of their house. They watched the light show for about an hour. But what was it? We reached out to the National Weather Service to see if meteorologists could tell us what these lights were. They said a weather balloon did fly across the state this weekend, but it took off from Fort Sumner. It then flew over the Gila before landing in Arizona. So based off of this path, there's no way folks in southeast New Mexico would have seen it. So it wasn't a balloon.
Well, first of all, you can tell it wasn't a balloon by the video. Even if there was a balloon scheduled to be going right over that area at the time, that wouldn't account for these lights. Point being, it obviously wasn't a balloon because duh.
Now on to the next opinion. We reached out to Holloman Air Force Base and asked if the military had any aircraft in that area Monday night. Turns out, the answer was yes. Here's what base officials confirmed. F-16s from Holloman Air Force Base were flying in an airspace known as the Talon Military Operations Area in southeast New Mexico the evening of August 29th. The aircraft did deploy flares as a part of their training mission.
So that is the official explanation from the military. The military claimed it as their own flares. There's a lot of military bases in southeastern New Mexico from what I understand. But I want to take you back real quick to 2011, to that video by Jeff Willis and his appearance on Fact or Faked. Let's take a look at this real quick. Because while these Fact or Faked guys aren't qualified to debunk anything, they really aren't. But one of them does at least compare the footage to actual footage of flares. So let's take a look.
Footage that was shot by Jeff Willis of Arizona. If you play it, you'll see that there's some unusual movement of these lights in the sky. Okay. So why don't you roll it?
All right, here we go.
So I think,
Whoa, I'm getting a series of lights right there. I got it. It's moving. You got it, Pat?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, right in the cloud.
Some of these sightings have been looked into before and they end up just being military flares. Is
that may be what we're seeing right here.
As a matter of fact, I got footage of military flares being dropped. I want to come up and I want to point out some just very obvious differences here. So go ahead and play it and look at the characteristics. These things drop straight to the ground.
Yeah, it looks nothing like
the gravity just drops. Even there's a little parachute on them. They just plummet. These don't.
And you can watch the rest of this episode on Daily Motion. It's Fact or Faked, Season 1, Episode 1. So, as you can see, these are not any type of flares that we know of. Now, 10 years ago or so, or over 10 years ago, when Jeff in Arizona filmed these lights, and the government told him, or the military base told him that they didn't have any exercises during that time and that it wasn't them, it's possible that this technology was still secret because it still appears to be secret to us today, because there's no documentation that I know of that can describe or explain these type of flares. And I'm sure 10 years ago they would have been even just as or even more classified. But now that the government is actually admitting, yeah, those are ours, maybe we can get some documentation or information on what kind of flares those are, how do they operate, what are they doing, so that we can have that to reference when we have sightings like this. Because we want to weed out the known from the unknown, obviously. Now for the New Mexico footage, I did email the military base there, and it's the weekend, so we'll have to wait and see if they reply come Monday or next week. And if they do, of course, I'll make a follow-up video. I was just asking them, since they did claim it as their flares, if they had any documentation or explanation for what type of flares that those are. So we'll see what happens with that. And just to top it all off, here is the other footage from New Mexico that I got off of MUFON, from the eyewitnesses who uploaded their footage along with their sighting report.
What is that? What is that? Yo! Bro!
And that's it for today. I hope you guys liked the video. If you want me to do more, please let me know. I do have my other channel, Sheila Alien, with no S at the end, that I've been using for like the past 10 years. But I'm mainly only uploading art stuff on there. I do artificial intelligence art of all sorts. So I'll probably use that channel for that, and maybe this one for UFO stuff. But I think I'm going to upload this video to both channels just to see where my UFO audience is actually at, and see what happens there. If you're not aware, I got this old channel, Sheila Aliens, with an S on the end. I got this one back after they terminated it for an entire decade. It was a terminated, gone, extinct channel. They brought it back with all of the videos intact. After 10 years. You know, I guess maybe one of my old copyright strikes expired. I don't know what happened. Very bizarre. Kind of useless at this point. Because, you know, that's a long time to pass. But somehow the channel did retain around 20,000 subscribers, although that's dropping rapidly now. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all for watching, and you all have a great day. Meow.